Hi, I'm Kay Reeve, emotional awareness expert, and I am running an upcoming workshop about emotional awareness. So let me tell you a little bit more about this workshop and see if you want to join on the next one available. What this workshop is taking a deep dive through the emotional cycle diagram. And this is what I designed to help my son see his emotions when I realized the reason he couldn't understand them is because he is a visual learner. This turned his life around, and this was when he was 20 years old. So imagine the 12 years of suicidal depression I could have helped him avoid if I'd known about this much sooner. But it's in my book, Brain Unchained. It's what's featured roughly on the cover, but it is the diagram that this book is based on. So if you'd rather read the book, this is available on Amazon. But here is what I'm going to cover in the workshops, and this workshop will be repeated. Or if you cannot make one and you don't want to wait for the next one, book the next available ticket on Eventbrite and you will get the replay afterwards. So this is the emotional cycle diagram. We look at happy, sad, angry, and depressed. And we're going to take this into understanding your emotions, as in, what is the purpose of that emotion? What language do you use to describe it? We're going to look at body language, tone of voice, and we're going to look at universal patterns. We're also going to look at what emotional intelligence is. And when we talk about Daniel Goleman and the 5 levels of emotional intelligence, the first one is emotional awareness. And most programs, workshops, books, courses talk about emotional intelligence at the top 3 levels. But the one that nobody really truly focuses on is that emotional awareness. There was a massive gap in education around understanding those core emotions. And if you don't get those right, you are not supporting all of those other levels above effectively. So this course is going to fill those gaps. It's going to open up your mind to what your feelings and emotions are in terms of not having to feel them more and feel overwhelmed by them, but it's actually going to give you a map for navigating them. And I think this is one of the things I see a lot of people when they're in denial about emotions, or I don't do feelings. And this is certainly a massive thing in men's mental health, as well as children who are going through, and young adults, teenagers who are going through depression, stress, anxiety. And they find that very difficult to navigate when they don't understand those core emotions first. And on top of all of that, you imagine the stress of parenting when parents have been brought up without the appropriate emotional core learning. And we're trying to pay forward learning to children, to teenagers, to young adults that we haven't been taught ourselves in our generation. And certainly for men's mental health, emotions have been repressed from childhood. Oh, you don't hit girls, and boys don't cry, and man up, and all of that. And so there are so many ways in which, when you compound teenage depression with neurodiversity, with men's mental health, for boys growing up, this can be completely numbing emotionally. And we want to be able to get everybody back in touch with those core emotions, because without that, learning the rest of the levels of emotional intelligence can feel like a complete impossibility. And everybody deserves to be able to understand and navigate their own emotional being. So that's what I'm going to be covering on this workshop. And come and check out the next available date. And I look forward to seeing you there. Take care.